Hi everyone, I'm Amanda Long and I wanted to show you how to use my new favorite kitchen gadget, and this is the Instant Pot, and I was very lucky to be able to get one from the Instant Pot company so I can do a review and then I can show all you wonderful Instant Potters out there or people who are considering an Instant Pot or another electric pressure cooker. That way I could show you guys how to unbox it. So I haven't opened this one, I lifted the lid, but I have not taken it out of the box. So I wanted to go through that step by step with you because I know a lot of newbies, they get it and they're like, okay, what do I do now? So we're gonna go through that. And I'm gonna show you everything. I'm gonna show you how to water test it. I'm gonna show you the parts. I'm gonna show you how it works because I want you to be able to use it. And then I'm also gonna have another video for you that is gonna have recipes. And of course, I'm going to have recipes on my website and I'll do videos. I'm gonna try to do a lot more videos now because I think that for me, a video to see somebody do something, it really helps me a lot. So I wanted to go through this. Okay, so first you're gonna find this little packet here. So the packet has, it's a cookbook. This is electric pressure cooker recipes. This is the second edition and this comes with the IP Duo 06. And so there's some recipes in here for Kahlua pork, creme brulee, poached wine or red wine poached pears, 3-minute oats, ooh, chili Colorado smothered burritos. I haven't seen that one. I think I want to try that one. That one looks good. So I think that this book is a collaboration of some people who are really big on the Instant Pot out there, and you should visit their sites because they are very helpful as well. And then you have the user manual. I would always keep this close because in here there's a troubleshooting table, but there is also a chart in here on cooking times. And if you don't have your manual handy or you lose it, oh, maybe I lied. Maybe there are not cooking. I thought there was a chart in here, but either way, on Instant Pot's website, you can go and find a chart, and it's cooking time charts. And I don't always follow those exactly because my cuts might be a little bit different, and just because my trial and error, I've learned some stuff which I want to help show you as well. But it's a really good starting place. So if you have a cut of meat, you can start with that time, and it's a great chart to refer to because it does help. It just changes a little bit when your cuts are a little bit different or not maybe on the list. So no big deal though, because you'll figure it out. I promise you, you will be using this thing enough to where you're gonna learn a lot fast. So take out the trash. Okay, so let's see if I can get this all out of here. So here is your pot. We'll put this down here. Okay, so now we have the pressure cooker out of the box. Throw all this plastic aside here. Okay, so this is your control panel here. This is the body, and we have the lid. So we'll go over the lid first. So this is the pressure cooker lid. So you have a valve here that is gonna seal or vent, which is important in pressure cooking. When you move it, you might not feel like you're doing anything, but it is sealing and it is venting. And that's very important, and we'll go over that in a lot of the recipes, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in the testing, the water testing part of this video. But for now, we'll just go through the parts. The new electric pressure cookers, they all have these great safety features. So you're not able to open your lid on your pressure cooker unless the pressure is completely gone and dissipated. It's an automatic locking feature. It doesn't matter how hard you try. It's really hard, you're not going to be able to get it open. So, and that's good because we don't want to have any of those, stories like back in the old days when people said their pressure cookers flew into the ceiling or caused bodily harm. And that is what really sways people from using a pressure cooker. And so that's why I wanted to show everybody this, is because I know some people out there are on the fence about whether they want to use a pressure cooker or maybe they have heard about the great qualities of pressure cookers, but they're really not sure. So hopefully this video and some of my recipe videos will help sway you and push you over the fence into the pressure cooking world, because this has been revolutionary for our family. So in the lid we have the valve and a steam release, and this little cover blocks food. It's like an anti-block cover, and it blocks food from getting into your vents and your valve. So you don't want any of these getting blocked with food. So this little thing is handy. You can take it off and wash it. It's real easy. It pulls off and it snaps on. If you forget it, it's not the end of the world, but just try not to make a habit of cooking without it, because you don't want your food getting in there. That's just a big pain in the butt. So it snaps back on just like that. And then inside there's this little rubber, I think it's silicone, a silicone ring, and it comes in and out. So I'm going to show you. You just pull it out. It wraps. There's like a little, there is a little metal piece in here that goes around the entire lid. And so that's where the seal goes. There's like this little dent in here where the seal snaps in. So the thing with this seal is that it is going to absorb odor. So once you start cooking with this and you're cooking stews and stews and soups and stuff like that, it's going to pick up the smell of what you're making. So if that's a problem for you, then I would buy 2 of these sealing rings, and I'll give you a link to them as well on Amazon, but you can buy extra. It's probably a good idea to have a couple extra anyway, just in case something happens to one and then you're in the middle of cooking, you know, and you don't have a backup. But it doesn't, although it picks up the smell, it doesn't transfer it into your food. So if I make stew one night and then I make steel cut oats the next day, it doesn't, my oats do not taste like stew. So it doesn't bother me so much because it smells like cooking. But I do know that some people don't like that. So if you don't, I would suggest getting another one of these seals. The seal can be placed in the dishwasher to cook. The lid cannot. You want to hand wash the lid. And also you can use some vinegar too. I find it doesn't really get rid of all of the smell, but if you mix like some vinegar and water and let it sit for a little bit, it kind of helps. But I really don't worry about the smell because I know it's not getting into my food. So I'm just pushing this seal back into place. It's a little harder the first time, but it'll get easier as you use it. It'll, you know, stretch out a little bit. This is a piece you cannot forget when you're cooking. Otherwise, you won't get a seal and you won't get pressure, and then you'll have an issue. So if you're not getting pressure in your pressure cooker, it's not coming to pressure, check and make sure your seal's in there. And there's no really, you know, way, whether it's up or down, that you put it in, as long as it's in where that little metal piece goes into the seal. So that's the lid, and I'll give you a closer picture of the steam and venting valves, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in the water test. So things that come with your pressure cooker. So you get this little cup. It's like a little condensation cup, and it goes on where the lid is. So up here in this little spot where the lid kind of attaches, there's a little hole there, and it accounts for, it takes care of like any accumulated liquids. So this just snaps on, and just like that. So you just want to check it, make sure that you don't have any liquid in it. If you do, rinse it out. I've noticed a couple times I got like some gunk in it, so just make sure you wash it and clean it. But it's real easy. It snaps on and off, and that's how it is. So that's easy. And then you get a little trivet. So this trivet is good for if you're cooking with maybe a pan. People have been getting those little cheesecake pans that fit inside this Instant Pot. And so if you're going to cook with that, you can put this down in there and you can put your cheesecake on top of it. And what it does is it just holds the water away from whatever you're cooking on the trivet. So in the yogurt making part, there's There's some recipes that show you how to make individual servings of yogurt, so you can make them in like little mason jars, and so you'd want to use it then too. So anytime you just want to keep your food up off of all the liquid, use this little trivet. It's helpful. Then you get a little rice measuring cup, and you get a soup spoon and a little rice paddle. And on the body of your pressure cooker, so here's the front of it, this little thing right here, your little spoons can go in there. It holds them, so that's kind of nice. A little spoon holder, prep it up. All right, that goes out there. So now for the body of it, the stainless steel insert I really like, because I like stainless steel. I cook with stainless steel. My pots and pans are stainless steel. So I'm used to cooking with stainless steel. It cleans up well. It browns really well, unlike a non-stick surface. Some of the pressure cookers come with a ceramic insert, and my only concern about those is just durability, because after a while you have wear, and with a non-stick you could scrape it and then you have to wonder if it's safe or not to cook with. Ceramic can just start scraping off as well, and you just don't want like pieces of that coating to be in your food either. So once that happens with any of those, you have to replace them. I'm not sure how durable all of them are, but I stick with stainless steel because I like it. I know I don't have to worry about the safety of it. I don't have to worry about the durability, and it cleans up really well. I use Bartender's Keeper, I think is what it's called, to clean mine. So usually soap and water does the trick, but if I have something that's really like stuck on, I use that Bartender Keeper, and it takes it off. I use that on my stainless steel pots and pans too. And honestly, it's the only thing that really gets the job done. A lot of people talk about a vinegar, salt, lemon mixture, and I haven't had too much luck with cleaning it that way. So I use Bartender's Keeper, and then I'll wash it out with regular dish soap, just so it doesn't have that smell, because I'm not really fond of it. It just works really well. So the bottom of this pan is really thick, so it conducts the heat really well. It absorbs the heat, and it helps cook everything really even. And so that's the other reason why I like the stainless steel as well. So the inner pot is where the heating element is. This is the heating element down here on the bottom, and that's what heats up your pot. And then this front piece is your control panel, and we're going to go through in more detail the control panel and the options and how that works as well. But so the lid has these little handles, have these little pieces out of them, and that's where these two pieces can go. So you stick them this way, or you can stick it that side. So it's really nice. It's convenient when you're cooking. Some of the other pressure cookers have lids that are attached that just open and close, and you might like that, or you might like the lid that attaches that you can just stick, at least I don't have to stick it on the counter. I didn't really like that. So this is actually a nice little feature as well. So we'll move on to learning about the control panel and the features of this wonderful product. So stay tuned. So this is the control panel of the Instant Pot, and as you can see, there's a lot of options on here, ranging from soup to stew, beans, poultry. These are all presets, these buttons up here and these ones here. So if you press on them, it's going to automatically set it to high pressure for 15 minutes. So you can adjust the time with the plus and minus, and you can adjust more if you press the adjust button, less, more, and this just adjusts the time a little bit more. So they're presets, but within those presets there's other options. So if you have really thin chicken breasts or thin pork chop, you might want to do less time because they're going to take less time. But if you have giant chicken breasts, you might want to do at the normal 15 minutes. So these I don't use super often. because I usually do my manual settings, because each recipe is maybe a little bit different. Maybe I have more sauce in one recipe, whereas I don't have any sauce in another recipe. So now you can see it's on. So now it's starting that cycle for soup. It takes about 10 seconds and then it goes on. And then here's the keep warm cancel. This is like your off button. So it turns it off, or you can unplug it. There's a slow cook option, the saute, pressure, manual, and then you can do timer, adjust, and yogurt. Yogurt's pretty cool. I'm gonna have a recipe for that one because I made it, and I was pretty impressed by the texture and the flavor, and I took it to work to a coworker who really likes yogurt as well. She eats it a lot, and she said it was some of the best yogurt she's had in her life. The texture and the flavor of it was just amazing, so much better than anything she was able to buy from the store. So, and it's super easy to, we'll do a video on that. So for now, I just want to go over some of the standard buttons that I use. So like I said, all these have a preset. You can use the adjust to adjust the, the time, the pressure, it'll set it for you. So like rice is low pressure for 12 minutes. And that one you can't adjust because it's just set to rice. That's just the rice cooker function of it. So that one's not adjustable. And then you have multigrains, steam, which we're going to use in a minute to do a test. So the ones that I use really often are saute. So saute, and then if you adjust, your less, normal, and more. So less, I would say, is a simmer. Normal is like sauteing, and more is browning. So when you want to brown something, like if you want to brown something on both sides, or if you want to brown ground beef, I would use the more setting. And then, so then you have manual settings. So manual is usually what I use. It defaults to the high pressure, but you can adjust that. And so you could press the pressure button to go to low pressure or high pressure, and then your time is the plus and minus. So you can adjust it to whatever you want, and use that for, I mean, that's what I usually use for my recipes, because I'll know how long I want, and that will help me. So the yogurt, you can do that. That's not really self-explanatory, so I am not going to go over that right now. We'll go over that in the yogurt video when I do that. And then off. And then you can do keep warm. So the keep warm, you can see 10 minutes. You can add more time. So if you want something to stay warm, this is a good option. I don't really like to keep stuff to stay warm. It automatically flips to that. So if you're gonna set a roast and you're gonna let it, with meat like a roast, I'll let it sit and do a natural pressure release for about 10 minutes. So it'll default to keep warm. I turn it off once the pressure cooker is off, because the longer that it's warm inside that pot, the longer it's going to take to release pressure naturally. So turn it off or unplug it, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then you can then you can open the valve and let whatever the rest of the pressure left out. But we'll go over that in some recipe. We'll go over that in some of the recipe videos as well. But for those of you who understand what I'm talking about, that is what that's what my suggestion is for keeping warm. So that's about all I do and use. And, if you like to use these presets, use them. If that's what you want to start out with. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing and you're not sure, you can default to these, and also go to the Instant Pot website where their cooking guides are. And they have an idea, they give you a chart that tells you like what you're cooking and how long it should cook for. And then it's just trial by error. I mean, most of it, it's gonna come out great, but you're gonna realize like, oh, my cut of meat is probably thicker and I need to cook it, like 2 or 3 more minutes. All of that will come. Don't feel overwhelmed and don't feel like you have to know it right now, because there's a lot of resources out there to help you. And I'm gonna have a lot of videos of recipes for you guys to help you through. So that is your control panel. So one more thing, I wanted to do the saute. So I'm gonna adjust it to less. When it gets hot, this screen is going to say, instead of 30, it's going to say hot. And 30 is like the default time. So if you're not done sauteing after 30 minutes, put it back on. Press saute and adjust again until you're done using it. It's just a safety feature that they time it so that it turns off and it doesn't stay on and end up, you know, burning up. So it takes a couple minutes, but once it gets hot, it'll say hot. Okay, so we are going to do the water test, and it says in the book to fill it up to the number 3, which is right there. So we're going to fill it with water, and then we're going to put it back in and do a steam test. So we have water filled up to the 3, and then, so we're going to put the lid on. So the lid, turn it for you to see here. The lid goes like this, and you're going to start it right here as close to this thing as you can. It'll slip into that thing, and it'll sound kind of like a, like a video game. At least that's what my kids say. So turn it. You want to set it to seal, to the seal part, which is this side that's venting. And then we're going to do a steam cycle on it. So we're going to press the steam button right here. So steam is right there. So we're going to steam, and we're going to adjust the time to 2. So it's going to take a few minutes it's going to go on, and then it's going to take a few minutes to get up to pressure where it needs to be, and then it'll run for 2 minutes. So we'll come back. Okay, so let's go ahead and release the pressure on this. So I'm confident enough to use my fingers because I know I'm going to keep it on this side and I'm going to get my hand out of the way. But if you are not, you can take some tongs, grab this piece right here and move it over. So we're going to do this. It's going to be like crazy loud, and my dogs went crazy at first when I first did it. My kids were like, what is going on? Because it is releasing the pressure. So it's kind of funny to see everybody's reaction the first time. But don't be afraid of it. Just don't get your hand in it. Don't put your hand up here or you know, around it, or grab the whole thing and turn it. You know, put your finger right here and push it. It's like a tea kettle. So this can take up to 2 minutes. It might even take a little bit more just with all the water in this. But that's how it is. And then once it's done, it's going to automatically unlock. So you can see right now, I can't even turn this lid at all. Like if I tried, it won't let me. So that's the safety feature in place. Okay, so the valve's dropped, which means that it's safe for me to open this up now. So turn it, and you're going to want to turn it away from you because you want all that steam to come out and go the opposite direction of you. There's a little lid holder right here. There's another one on the other side too, so you can stick your lid in there. And that's it. So if you had food in here, it would be nice and cooked. But we've successfully done our water test. Everything works. We had no problems, no leaks, nothing. So now we're ready to get cooking.